If you're watching this feeling exhausted, fatigued, actually wondering who you are beneath all the busyness, then you're not alone. So many women I've spoken to recently are just feeling like they're almost at the wit's end. Christmas is nearly upon us, whether you celebrate the festive season or not. There is still a huge urge to get everything done, get the house right, get the garden looking tidy, get those niggly jobs out of the way, and also try and find some enjoyment in it for yourself as well. We often find ourselves constantly doing. It's one chore after the next chore after the next chore, and if we don't get all of our chores done in one day, we berate ourselves. Rather than celebrating what we did manage to get done, we focus on those things that still need to be done. And if you're anything like me, you wake up in the early hours thinking, I've forgotten to do that, or I've still got to do that. And in fact, the other evening, I woke up at 2:30. My brain was just like on random spin mode. And even after applying all my sleep hygiene tips that I spoke about last week on insomnia and fatigue during menopause, I actually got up. I got my Trello on my phone. Trello is a free app. It's brilliant. I use it. My whole life is on Trello, actually. But I did this to-do list, and it went on and on and on and on and on. But do you know what? After I'd sort of nearly fallen back asleep about 3 times and then thought, oh, I haven't added that to the list, and then added that dutifully to my list of to-dos, I then was able to go back to sleep because I had freed my brain of everything. In the morning, I woke up, I sorted through that list, I allocated various chores to days. Some days, it doesn't matter if it's Saturday or Sunday that this particular chore happens, but it gave me a framework, and it made it so that I could break down various days into, the important things that I'm needed for around my work, etc. And then, the days when I have a little bit more free time, I could then knock out a load more chores. I'm not suggesting you become a robot of the chore queen. However, I know at this time of the year it is especially busy. There is a lot to do, and if you're anything like me, I want my garden. My garden's an absolute disaster, but I would ideally like it to look nice. I want my house to be clean. I want it to be dusted. I want things to just flow nicely so that I can walk around and sort of float around in my wincey nightie and just think, oh, how wonderful it is. I can drift into Christmas. Oh, if that were the case. By the way, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kate. I share a weekly video with you every Monday around something related to menopause, and specifically being the midlife woman trying to balance it all. So I hope this is going to be helpful to you, because so many women, like I said, I've been speaking to recently, have just said, I don't know whether I'm coming or going. And I feel exactly the same. So if that is you, I really hope this is going to be helpful for you. Partly is down to, I suppose, family pressures, societal expectations, social media. Try not to get on the social media bandwagon. Now, I know a lot of people do. A lot of people, they wake up, the first thing they do is scroll their phones. I mean, one of my businesses was literally on social media for about 8 years, and I even then did not wake up and scroll my phone. I think we have to have real boundaries around it, because what happens is when you have too many things on your to-do list, of which I had, you end up procrastinating. And because you're so overwhelmed with everything that needs to be done, you're so fatigued, you're so exhausted, your brain is literally, I don't know what to do next. Then you end up possibly going down that social media hole. And then do you know what that does to you? You just look at everybody else's highlight reel, all the beautifully filtered, because they're often filtered, pictures of the lovely house front with their beautiful wreath and the family all dressed already in their matching Christmas pajamas with little hats on and tinkly things in their hair. And you're probably still in your pajamas at 4 p.m, not having brushed your teeth. You may not even have eaten. That's quite like me on some days. And you're just feeling frazzled. And by that time of the day, you're thinking, your brain's gone into meltdown mode. You start the scroll, and it does not make you feel any better, does it? Avoid the scroll, and understand that when you have so many things on your plate, procrastination sits very heavily in your chest, on your shoulders, on your lap, and you can very easily waste an hour to an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours of productive time just because you felt so overwhelmed. And so essentially you didn't do anything. You just filled the time because your nervous system is just. Have you ever seen a cymatics? Cymatics is how sound produces through sand or water or things like that. It basically is it's the vibrations of music. It's amazing. It's quite incredible when you look at the science of cymatics. However, I feel this time of the year is a little bit like being in the middle of a cymatic experiment, and we are the ones going brrrr as everything around us is impacting us. Partly because we're allowing it to, but partly also just because we're humans, we're not robots. And while it's great to be productive and make the best use of your time, as a woman, you need to make time to do stuff just for you. Ideally, nothing. Maybe lie flat on your back with your feet directly up the wall. It's a wonderful position. It feels amazing. Even if you just do that for 10 minutes, morning and evening, or just once a day, maybe you take time to have a shower. Maybe you allow yourself to have your breakfast, brush your teeth, get showered before you actually start your to-do list in the morning. And if you're listening to this thinking, oh, of course I do that, well, look at you, because there's a lot of us that do not, because the day just runs away with you and you get caught into it. If you're anything like me, I'm single, there's a lot I need to get done, and I have the worst habit of just getting on with the jobs because I feel so accomplished after I've got a few under my belt. But then that means sometimes at 3 or 4 p.m. I've still not showered, I've not brushed my teeth, I've barely eaten a thing, which is just rubbish for my hormone balance, my gut health, to keep belly fat off, and it does poop to your sleep as well because you're just fizzing on cortisol. So we do need to make time. We need to elbow time into our day for a little bit of relaxation. It doesn't have to be a long time, and to really be cognizant of those moments when you are in the thick of that almost confusion around what needs to be done next and that panic. Take a few minutes now. Where's your breath coming from? I bet it's like, and it's all shallow. Just take a few moments to take a few deep breaths in and let your tummy hang out and go floppy. And do some deep abdominal breathing, because I tell you what, it feels amazing. So many of us run around and our cores are tense. Yeah, it's great to have nicely toned muscles around your middle. Don't get me wrong. That's really good for your structure. However, right now you're probably tense. You're feeling tense inside, your pelvic floor's all tense. Do you know what? The vast majority of women don't have loose, baggy pelvic floors, as we often think we do. They are overly tense because of what we're doing now, sitting down, stressing, and we're carrying it all in our bodies. Whereas if we actually allowed ourselves the time to do strength training, squats are incredible at making the sort of other layers of your pelvic floor get stronger, and also toning those layers of your pelvic floor that are overly tense. So that's just a quick aside, but you might be feeling in your body right now, you are fizzing. So just take a few moments to deep breathe and let that breath go down into your belly. If your belly's going in and out without you forcing it to take in a deep breath, then you're breathing properly. Diaphragmatic breathing. It will stimulate your vagus nerve, which can help you to relax. You cannot be relaxed and stressed at the same time. It's a physical impossibility. And you can bring on your relaxation mode by deep breathing. I'm an anxiety specialist. I have been for over 20 years. So one of the first things I teach all the people that walk through my door, and most of them look at me, is to say, is that it? Of course, no, that's not all it, but it's a brilliant first beginning, and it will benefit every single one of us if we can allow ourselves to do a bit of deep breathing. If your days are frantically busy, I hear you. I know what that feels like. When you go to bed, allow yourself a few moments of deep breathing. Lie down flat, put your hands on your belly. Don't force the belly to go up and down, but just breathe so that your belly does move. So you're moving out of your chest and you're moving into the belly breaths. The belly breaths are what you want to aim for because those are stimulating your vagus nerve. They are activating your parasympathetic nervous system to bring down that stress response. It will do you so many favors. If you wake up through the early hours and you're stressed and your brain's on overload, maybe get that to-do list written, because it just gets it out of your brain onto paper, and then it does free up your ability to go back to sleep again more easily. But do your deep breathing again. Get into your tummy, get into that belly breathing. You'll find it will help so much. Next is identify the overwhelm. What actually does need to be done? Because if your to-do list is anything like mine, I have an aging cat who about 3 or 4 weeks ago decided she was going to use 3 of my downstairs stairs as her litter tray. Weeing, not pooing. Poos would have been easier actually, but I actually pulled up the carpet because it was so wet, and underneath it, it was vile. So I've had to invest in really expensive urine eliminator. I've washed the sections of carpet. I took them up to my bath. I soaked them in urine eliminator. They smell fresh and clean. I've got to put them back on my stairs. Now, do you know what? It doesn't really matter if those bits of carpet do not go on before Christmas. I would love them to go on before Christmas, but if they don't, it's not a major thing. In my mind, it's one of my very important jobs, but in actual fact, when I think about it, it's not that important. You probably also have jobs like that. I have a rhododendron out there that I cut up several months ago, and then it got rainy and freezing and da-di-da-di-da. And I thought, oh, I'll have that cleared up. I'll have it all burnt by Christmas. It's going to look tidy. Nope, still out there, still part of rhododendrons. You have to be quite ninja about deciding what really is important and what actually doesn't really matter. It would be nice, but it's not that important if it doesn't get done before Christmas or the new year or whenever. What is stealing time without really adding value? Again, when we're getting this close and we really want everything to look perfect and be spot on, I have a massive pile of filing to be done. I'm usually really good with filing, and this last half year has been just so busy. I've let the filing get out of hand. Doesn't really matter if it's not done before Christmas. I can put it in a cupboard and I can do it after Christmas. But in my mind, it's on my to-do list. I want my filing to be done because I want everything to be cleared so it looks nice and tidy. It's not that important if I don't do it before Christmas. So I really challenge you to get, what do you think I need to do? But do you actually really need to do it? Can you delegate it to somebody else? Can somebody else do it on your behalf to make life a little bit easier for you? Because I think as women, we are absolutely rubbish at asking for help. Partly we don't want to, because we want to do it all. If you're anything like me, I want to do it all. Well, I have to do it all because it's just me. But is there anybody that you could delegate to? I would highly recommend you schedule in your moments of you time. Maybe that might just be reading a book that you really love reading and allowing yourself to sit with your candle and maybe a lovely glass of red wine or whatever, and allow yourself 10 to 15 minutes or to read a chapter before you crack on with the rest of the chaos. Because when you allow yourself some breathing space in your day, it makes you a lot clearer. All of a sudden, the stress that is surrounded around getting your carpet down and cutting your rhododendron up and getting the filing done actually doesn't really seem that important. It's not that important. But when you get yourself those little strategic you times around the day, you see things a lot more clearly. So do have a few strategic you moments, because you will realize you're stressing about a lot of stuff that actually is not that important. What is the main thing around Christmas or the festive period, regardless of whether you actually celebrate Christmas itself or not? Normally it's around community, spending time with those that we love. So let that be your main focus. If you are alone for Christmas, I've had very many years alone at Christmas because I'm a single parent and sometimes the children used to go to their dads. I used to make my Christmas day my extra special Christmas day. I'd go off for a walk with the dogs. I would cook myself a delicious meal. I'd buy myself an extra special bottle of wine, and I would watch one or two of my favorite films, or I might just listen to music. I just literally took the day as I felt like I wanted to take the day. Sometimes I'd have a body scrub in the shower. Anything that suits you. If you're alone at Christmas, make your Christmas day special. Please don't waste it feeling that you're missing out. One of the things I used to love when I was alone at Christmas is I'd walk down our village lane. It's a very small village, a hamlet that I used to live in, and I could hear the laughter and the music coming out of other people's houses. I could smell the cooking coming out of their houses. And rather than letting myself feel like, oh, I feel so alone because they're having such a lovely time and I'm not, I jumped. I stole that energy coming out of their houses. I felt like a witch, but I felt like I could see it almost like wafting across in my direction, the energy coming out of their houses. And I got on that energy wave. I really absorbed it. It was lovely to hear them laughing. It was fun to hear their music. And it was just lovely to know that they're having fun and good times themselves. We can live vicariously through other people's experiences of good things. So allow yourself to do that. I think we're also programmed into not wanting to be alone at Christmas. You know, this is always, if you're alone at Christmas, please phone this number. There's a helpline. There are helplines. I'm not diminishing that, because some people do feel incredibly lonely, particularly older people. And if you have an elderly person in your community, if you're alone, maybe go knock on their door and take them a mince pie or a cup of tea, or just offer to chat to them for a few minutes. Just wish them a Merry Christmas. They might offer you in and for a cup of coffee or something. That will make you feel so wonderful, and it will really brighten up their day too. Sometimes we just have to be the ones to put on our wellies and get out there and integrate. Because if it's not coming to you, you take it out there. If community does not appear on your doorstep, you take community out and go and appear on somebody else's doorstep, because you'll both benefit from it so much. You might just enjoy having some peace and quiet. If that's the case, revel in your peace and quiet and enjoy every moment of it. It's really important to remember that this time of the season is a downtime. Most people are not working. I actually used to really enjoy working over Christmas, because I felt like I was part of the Christmas hard-working gang. I mean, yeah, that's tied into my psyche. It's like hard-working, never stop. I don't necessarily think that's right. But when I was going into work for Christmas, it was fun, because we were in there and it was a bit more relaxed, and we were often in mufti clothes, and we'd all bring in something nice to eat, and it was just a nice way to spend a work day, I suppose. So rather than, again, seeing it something horrid, it can be fun. And I think the way we look at these things has a huge impact actually on how we experience them. So I do know what it's like if you're alone at Christmas, but there are many things that we can do to improve how we experience our time alone at Christmas. If you're busy with friends and family and it's chaotic and you're struggling to stay on top of it all, by the way, my freezer's broken. My oven doesn't work. I'm feeling a bit frazzled because of that too. Because I've got all my Christmas shopping ready and I can't freeze it. I'm trying to source an extra freezer fast, and I'm really hoping that an element for my cooker arrives before Christmas so I can get that fitted. Looking more and more unlikely right now. But anyhow, we will manage. If we have to cook on the top of the log burner and finish it off on our portable hob and in an air fryer, we will. We will make the best of a bad lot. The most important thing is that my children will be with me this Christmas and we will have fun. It'll be relaxing and we're just going to hang out together and go for walks and spend time with the pets, regardless of whether the oven works or whether the freezer works. We might all end up with botulism on Boxing Day, but we will see how it goes. Hopefully not. Just work with what you can. Do what you can while being as productive as possible without feeling like you have to turn into a robot. Avoid the social media scroll at all costs, because none of us go onto social media and come off it feeling better. Well, rarely. Have a fabulous Christmas, whether you're alone or not. Try not to be a super productive, crazy to-do list person. Work out what is an absolute priority. Allow yourself breathing space so that you too can enjoy it. And I promise you, those breathing space moments will make you more productive and you will get more done. It's amazing. 10 minutes of downtime, I can't 10 minutes in a minute, will really give you clarity over those things that actually don't really matter. And at the end of the day, Christmas is going to be here in a few days, 2 days, and then it'll be gone. And it's just like, God, what was all that stress for? Remember what a miracle you are, and to send lots and lots of love, because the next time I'm on this, it will be past Christmas and we'll be building up for the New Year's celebrations. Hopefully my oven will be fixed and my freezer, I might have got one by then. So as long as I don't die of botulism in the meantime, I will look forward to seeing you next week. I send you so much love and thank you so much for supporting my channel. If you have found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, please do so you don't miss future episodes, unless you really don't like this one, in which case please don't subscribe. Have a great time and I will see you soon.